you that might not be familiar, tonight is actually a fan event of sorts. Woo! Stay, you're welcome to go, there's no pressure, but tonight we are partying like it's 2064, I believe is the thing. So we're having a little bit of a talk back afterwards. By no means, if you didn't plan on this, you don't have to stay. If you need to go to the bathroom, do what you need to, but we're gonna have a little talk back with the team behind this show for the next half hour, so then we're out of here at like, I think 9:30, so if that interests you, come hang out. It is now my great pleasure while we get out of hair and makeup so people can go home backstage. I would love to introduce, respectively, our director, our scenic designer, and our stage manager, respectively, Michael Arden, Dane Lafferty, and Justin Scrivener. Let's give it Thanks for coming. Peace.
It's just so very unusual to get to see a performance and then all of a sudden you're thrust upon a talkback with us. Obviously, if you need to go, please feel free. The bathrooms are open and you're free to walk around. But this is a very special thing that we have not done nor plan to do again. And so we have out in the house. Catherine Quinn has a microphone to take some questions, but we also have received some questions in advance.
And if you have to go, please. But hang out with us otherwise, and I know our company will be joining us soon, so...
Catherine, are you out there? Hi.
I know.
You're on.
How exciting. Do you want the list of questions?
We have seen the list of questions.
You have seen them already.
We have,
Okay,
and
so
we can grab them too, if that's helpful.
you don't have to. I'm happy to read them to you.
Yes,
This
please.
is very exciting. It's like a bedtime story. Okay. This question is for the standbys.
Great.
First of all, who among you have gone on so far? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Christopher James Tamayo. I am a standby for, thank you, Gil Brentley and for Oliver. Yeah.
Do you know how many times that you have been on?
How many times have I been on? 8 times.
Is there a moment in the show that you use to gauge how the audience is feeling?
Jenny. Jenny's the vibe check, y'all. It's always such a good time, and everyone has a great time, you know, and I get to interact with Darren and Helen, and it's great. Yeah.
Love it. Can we go down the line, and can you tell me what is your favorite song in Maybe Happy Ending?
Hi, I'm Daniel May. My favorite song is When You're in Love.
Woo!
I think my favorite song is How to Be Not Alone. It always gets me.
My favorite song is Why Love.
Mine is also How to Be Not Alone. I'm Steven.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I think my favorite song is How Not to Be Alone as well.
I'll answer. I think one of my favorite songs in the show is Where You Belong, especially when you watch Sweet Oliver and his puppy dog eyes singing to James. It really breaks my heart. It's so beautiful.
I'm When You're in Love, personally.
I'm gonna say Sentimental Person. It seems like it's been with us forever. It's a great song.
We have a lot of Gil Brentley love here. It's like almost all Gil Brentley answers. I love that. How many Fireflies are in the show? Come on, Justin.
Well, I want to thank Mike Sprokey, who is running the light board right now, for answering this question for us. They're all real fireflies. First and foremost. But if you count all the diodes that are in the theater, there are a total of 102.
Ooh.
And we all know that because we've been playing games backstage, and that was an answer to a trivia question, so we all knew that. Thank you.
Do we know if any K-dramas inspired the show?
We don't know.
Great. I love it.
Will?
I know, we have our writers in the house too.
Any K-dramas? No K-dramas. I'll do a little plug. Earlier today, Will and Hugh did an interview on YouTube with Catherine, and they spoke a lot about the process of the show, and they did answer a couple great Easter egg questions, which you can look up. They're fabulous.
Very delighted. If you could add a reprise of any song in the show, what would it be? Claire has an answer.
I have an answer for this, but just because it was briefly in the show, there was a reprise of Never Fly Away that happened at the end that we lost, but we still love it. I still sing it to myself at the moment.
What? Oh no, that was my answer. I had heard about it. I had heard about the previous version that was at the end of the show, and when they told me, I truly almost started crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish it was still in there. But you know, it's in our hearts, so it lives on.
I also think at the very end, Oliver sang a reprise of Where You Belong to Claire as it's like closing. Awesome.
For the revival.
Ooh, I think this one is a secret, right? Dane, you can tell me. Someone wants to know how the Firefly flies into the audience. Is this magic that we will not reveal?
It's a real firefly.
That's right. You heard it here first. Who is your Gil Brentley, the singer who you wish would just pop into your life and narrate for you?
Darren Chris.
That's the only answer they need.
Who would like to top that answer? No one. No takers. Okay, that's fine. Are there any Easter eggs from previous productions?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I didn't write this question. I mean, technically,
Productions? No.
I mean,
There's like Easter eggs from like all sorts of Easter eggs for each other, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like things in the design and around the set that are special to people in the show, and people in the show have things hidden in the set. And but there's from previous productions, I don't think so. But Oliver's room is if you ever get close enough to see inside it, there's a lot of Gil Brantley pictures and great stuff in there.
Excellent. Before I bring questions out to the house, I'm curious, has anyone seen the show more than 5 times? Has anyone seen the show more than 8 times? 10 times? 12. 15. Has anyone seen it? 15. I'm coming back here.
Oh my gosh.
Who's seen it? How many times have you seen the show? This is 15. Would you like a
Incredible.
playback?
Yeah.
Okay. And then who else? We have another 15, right? I'm coming. Oh no, maybe I'm not.
Wait, while
You
you're
got
doing
the
that,
same thing, Bill?
I think there is an Easter egg in the show from a previous production.
Oh, yeah?
I believe that when Claire calls her friend,
Oh, yes. Yes.
we have the photo. Is the photo? Yes. Is yes. Do you want to? Anybody want to talk about this?
Sorry, I love Chunmido. I'm a Chunmido stan. Chunmido played the first original Claire in the Korean production of Maybe Happy Ending, and she is also she is Claire's friend who she calls for the replacement parts, and her picture is on the screen, so that's real cool. Cool stuff, you guys. Show's real cool.
I love that.
Okay, while Dane answers this question. If anyone else has seen the show in any level 15 times or more at once, a signed playbook with a Waboon signature on it.
Whoa.
But don't lie, you have to have seen it 15 times or more. Then I will come to you. Dane, can you speak a bit about your inspiration for the scenic design of the show?
Sure. I mean, broadly, it's a lot about taking the audience on a really exciting journey that kind of mirrors the journey that Oliver and Claire go on. So I think it's about, starting somewhere that you think you understand, and then you're somewhere else, and maybe you think you understand that, and then it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And so it's a lot about how this journey unfolds and how we use sort of irises to pull the eye and almost make cells in a graphic novel or something. But Michael should answer this question too.
Well, I'll just add to that is that we talked a long time ago when we first dreamed about this about how we absorb media on our phones in this vertical space. And so that's kind of how we wanted to start the play in Oliver's room, and it's a bit more vertical than we're used to seeing on stage. Our eyes are used to seeing things in this format. And so we start here and then thinking about how you zoom in on your phone, and so we started talking about these irises that could close in on them, and we could just look at just moments and let you imagine the world outside of that until we finally get out of the city.
Love it. I'm up here now. I'm everywhere. I'm up here mezzanine. Thank you so much. Mezzanine friends, does anyone have a question that they want to ask our friends on stage?
Hi, thanks, Roy. That was an amazing production. I'm curious as to what how you got about visualizing those graphic cells and how they're moving around. I thought the set design was absolutely beautiful, and I was wondering where you drew the inspiration from and how you conceived of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a hard one to answer because it's so much about. You see, the show never stops moving, right? You just watch. So it's so much about a means to create a machine that never stops once it's started. I just watched this man call the show this evening, which means that he is responsible for saying the words and flipping the switches that make all of this happen. And it is sort of having been away for a couple of months, it's sort of a staggering thing to watch. And so I think it all the answer to the question is really about how we are able to continuously move. And so a lot of the limitations of space and time and what the parameters of the machinery can do really informed what it was. So it was, you start with a vision of this and, you storyboard through the show or whatever, but I think if we went back to what those were versus what's on stage here, so it's so much just informed by reality and the possibilities and the limitations. And so, yeah, it's really just, so much about what we could do to just keep you on the ride, I think, is the answer. Oh yeah, sure. There's a visual inspiration. It's more about how the machine works, which was this. There's this one building that was in Tokyo called the Nakajin Capsule Tower, and it was this sort of utopian dream of this architect that you, the resident, would own a cube, very similar to the places where Oliver and Claire are living. And that, you could take that with you. It was called metabolism architecture. And so if you lived in Tokyo and then you wanted to move to Osaka or Seoul, your cube could come with you. And what happened is that this only one tower to hold these was ever built. So you couldn't move with your cube. And what happened to your cube is that your cube fell into sort of spectacular disrepair.
Oh, wow.
And this was a piece of research that we've been really interested in from before the Atlanta production. It was really kind of a touchstone for us. And then Michael and I were very fortunate enough to be in Tokyo in the middle of the pandemic, kind of wandering around when we were supposed to be locked in our hotel room, I think. Don't tell. And I was we gotta go to see that thing because they're about to tear it down. And we found this crazy building, and it was in sort of magnificent disrepair. It was this sort of wonderful, visual and this kind of utopian ideal that had just sort of was falling apart before our eyes and was connected with extension cords coming out of the windows, and it just felt like this sort of extraordinary metaphor for obsolete robots, and it really it sort of cemented for us how truly inspirational that particular space and idea was for like imagining where you would find these, you know, retired robots living and what that would mean about, you know, how they were moving through the world. Thanks for asking.
Love it. Hey friends, I think we have some additional humans who might join us on stage. Hey additional friends, would you like to join us? All right, questions up here, anyone? Oh, you're so far away. Do you want to hand this down to my friend in blue?
You all look amazing.
Hi, over here. This is my third time seeing the show, and it's just absolutely incredible. I was wondering if you could speak to the Firefly moment with the orchestra and what that process was like. As a musician myself, it makes me cry every time. Thank you.
I want to say something about the Fireflies, just so we're clear. These are all equity Fireflies. Above board. And you've actually seen it more than 3 times. It's just that we delete your memory every time. Anybody who's claiming to have seen it more than 15, they've actually seen it thousands of times. That does not answer your question.
Yeah, I'll say that we knew that this needed to be like a huge visual, and it's the biggest sort of moment for Claire. She's been dreaming of seeing these and what Fireflies represent, and that they're not alone in the universe. There are other robots who live and don't have to plug in. And so it was knew that it was this charged moment that we needed to fulfill visually. And I think the idea for the strings just came when I thought, well, for Oliver, people are his joy. It's everything he lives for. And so the people that we could have playing this music, and Gil Brentley is his love and dream, and the fact that he would get to like be at a Gil Brentley concert in the most beautiful way, and that James would be playing the piano in that moment of sort of like, well, what are both of their like perfect moment of happiness and representing all of lives. Yeah.
I want to quickly shout out, for those of you who have seen it more than one time, you've noticed they're different musicians. Because we don't have the same musicians. Broadway shows have a lot of subs that play in. And so I just want you to put yourselves in the shoes of a sub musician who is told they have to memorize very difficult string music, and then is told you gotta come in. They watch, you have to be dressed up, you have to be wearing an earpiece, and then you have to play in a certain, you're gonna get blasted in the face with fog grit. Just a big shout out to our incredible musicians. Where are you now, Catherine?
I'm up in the balcony. We're traveling. Balcony friends, do we have questions? For our friends on stage? Oh, the balcony's so shy. Anyone? Oh, we got one. Okay.
Oh, God.
Where did my friends go? Hi.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a huge fan. You guys are amazing. I'm curious how long it takes to prepare for a production like this. I can't imagine with all the, the set, right? The memorization, everything, right?
Well, I can say that Will and Hugh began writing the show in 2014. There was a production, it premiered in Seoul, Korea in 2016. The first reading of a newer draft in 2017 in America, in English, and then a few more readings happened before a production in 2019-2020 in Atlanta. And then we had more readings and a workshop, and this production started rehearsals at the end of August, beginning of September. And with only 4 weeks of rehearsal and 2 weeks of tech, we made this show what it is.
That is because this has effectively had an out-of-town tryout for years, which is so unlike any other show. The nuts and bolts, as far as the dramaturgy is concerned, about figuring out story beats and songs and everything, a massive percentage of that was sorted out overseas, not only in Korea, but in Japan and China, which, make no mistake, are not the same culture or the same place to hold that show. And so I think that speaks to its sort of enduring quality throughout different cultures and languages. So by the time we get here, the cake's been baked pretty well. It was pretty much turnkey, which allows for people like Dane and whoever, is it Michael? That was supposed to be funny, yes. Michael and Dane could really work and could really dig their heels in on some of this amazing spectacle that you guys see, because I don't think, if you guys had started from zero from here, I don't think, well, first of all, I don't think any other group of people, not the cast, the creative, without these people, there's no other group of people that this could have been pulled off with. With the amount of time that Justin just spoke about, that speaks to the artistry and professionalism of a very, very high-functioning small group of people. We just get to slip in and do what we're told. So anyway, I think that is a very cool testament to you guys. Take this away from me.
I have a question for Marcus. Marcus, what are you holding in your hand?
Thank you for asking. Where are you?
Up here. I'm house left balcony.
Yes. So, this is actually the book that I read every night. However, the reason why it's special tonight is because one of our stage managers, shout out to Cito, she is a wizard with Photoshop. And so she created a cover for this book. But the reason why it's so amazing is that she incorporated all these different things with the show. So the writer of this particular book that she wrote on here is Soo-Han Lee, who is played by the wonderful actor Young Mazino, and Jian Cho, who is also depicted by Arden Cho. And then on the back, these are the quotes that we got from our reviews from opening night. It's amazing, right? So shout out to Of course, this is an official pick of the Hwabun Book Club.
Okay. Oh, Justin, do you have a...
Well, I just want to point out we only have a couple minutes left for questions, because then we're going to do two special things. One is we're going to take a photo with all of you somehow, and then we are going to there will be a little special performance to finish our evening out. So we just have time for just one or two more questions.
We have one up here.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know why standing up here in the dark talking to you guys is so frightening.
I see you. All the way up there.
I first want to say I feel like a slacker because I've only seen the show 7 times. But I'll catch up. It's a long run. I know that all the standbys do run-throughs on certain days. Is there ever any chance that all us Fireflies who are so dedicated to the show can come and see the standbys perform?
Well, good news for you. Some of our Fireflies in the building will be going on soon. In 1 week, next week, all next week, Hannah Kevitt will be playing Claire. And in March, Stephen Wynn will be playing Oliver for 6 performances. And Chris Tamara will be playing Oliver for 2 performances. Information is public and is on our social media and I think on playbill.com. You know what I mean? Like, it's out there. So you can find the performances, and absolutely you should come, because the beauty of this show, and Hugh and Will, since the beginning, in Seoul, when the production has been done every year, many years since, there have been many actors that have played these roles, and they bring so much of themselves to it. So the show changes inherently based on who is playing each of these roles, and I do urge you to come back and see it, because it's really, really special to see this. And they've also gotten the chance to see their friends.
Yeah, it's amazing. This show's pretty good. Wow.
The first time we did a run through, just the entire company sat with popcorn in the front row. The love that this group of people has for each other is so inspiring. Truly. It's incredible. This time.
Do we think we have time for one final?
I'm really curious. I didn't understand that the show started in Seoul. And so I wanted to know, I know a lot of shows start here and then ultimately have an international run. I wanted to know what changes or adaptations have been made to bring this show alive to an English-speaking audience and to an audience that isn't as familiar versus what it started as originally.
Nice. Should I run the mic back?
Yeah. Will and Hugh
Would you?
speak to that.
Park, right?
This is like my worst nightmare because I'm like Oliver. I never leave my room, but Will and I worked on this production thinking that this is like our first production. So there are a lot of new jokes that we wrote, a lot of new songs. A lot of inspiration from Michael and Dane and everyone worked on the show, including Justin. So yeah, I mean, the answer is a lot. We made a lot of changes and hopefully improvements. Do you want to?
No, that was great. I agree with all of that. I mean, there are many things we could talk about. One that comes to mind was one of the first things Michael said was, I'm really interested to know more about Claire's owners. Because in Korea, that was represented visually by the cello player and first violinist, visually represented her former owners, and they played a duet. And that's still in the orchestration. But Michael said, well, what if you were to actually flesh that out and write them as scenes, what would that be like? And so there were lots of things where Michael would push us. Sentimental Person did not exist in the Korean production. And just Michael said, wouldn't it be great if Gil had one more song? Anyway, so we could go on and on, but yes, there were lots of things that came out of this process, and like Hugh said, we thought of this as a first production, not as we're bringing the Korean production here. So,
and you were so incredibly open and joyful in that process, and yeah, I'm sure you were when you weren't here in front of it, but it wasn't so joyful. But it truly was felt by everybody. It felt like we were making something for the first time, and that's probably difficult to do when you've already made something that's so beloved.
Thank you. They were all such great ideas. We're thrilled to work with you.
I'm getting my signal wave, and so we're gonna take our little picture. But first, I would like to say that you got a little tote bag when you got here. Inside said tote bag, there is a finger puppet light. We would all like you to put on said finger puppet light. Wow. And we're gonna take a picture of everybody with their light.
I know. I'm like, oh no, I can't find it.
Oh, it's beautiful. I wish y'all could see yourselves.
It's like the Eras Tour.
It's so Eras Tour. That was a Chris joke. I just said it louder into the god mic.
This is so cute.
In just a moment, we're going to do something special, but before we do, I want to say thank you to the other stage managers on my team, to the incredible crew, and the house staff here at the Belasco, who are so... We have a 19-person part of the show. All right.
Do you mind if I say a little thing? So can you guys hear me without a microphone?
Yeah.
What's really neat about the Belasco Theatre of any Broadway theaters is that they predate electronic amplification. So with all the plaster and wood in this room, the timbre of my voice is being carried not only by the building itself, but by the cells in your body. And that's why this is such an amazing place when you perform with me just talking, because even at the back of the balcony, you guys can hear me talking. So what I thought we'd do, and I like to do this a lot of my own shows, we thought, even though this is a very technologically advanced show and story, we tried to make it a little more analog and play a bit more of a, shall we say, an acoustic version of a couple of our songs. Not only people who we just saw perform tonight, but people you haven't seen perform yet. If you get a chance to see them in a couple of weeks. But we are going to just do a little medley that I put together in the last 24 hours. We may cheat a little bit. I might have somebody with the guitar a little bit next to this, but we're going to do a little medley of a little show called Maybe Happy Ending.
Yes!
Be a sing-along section at the end.
Thanks for watching my coverage of Maybe Happy Ending on bwaySHO. See you at the show.
Sing along so we can have some of our little robots and fireflies up here sing their parts. All right, here we go. Thank you again for joining us. We're going to send you home with the songs I think all Broadway needs.